to the ADHD Is Podcast. I'm Linda Monahan. I am ex-corporate lady, 15 years in corporate, walked away from a 100k job just because they were pissing me off, and I had 2 kids and I got real tired, and I started my Pilates business, and I became a wellbeing coach, which I incorporated now into my business coaching and my ADHD coaching. So it's all about balance and reducing overwhelm and reducing stress. I am medicated for ADHD. I do have AuDHD, and I am a parent of an ADHD kid. So thank you for being here. I'm going to start with a lovely card. You are the author of your own story, and I'm such a huge believer in that. I've been writing a lot lately and, reminiscing about my childhood and about different experiences. It's been good and bad because it has brought a lot of things that maybe I pushed deep down. But I do think even to translate that into today, we are in fact the authors of our own story, but actually we are the curators of our own algorithm. So just like everything you see on your social media, everything you see in life, you have brought into your life, if that makes sense. So, I definitely had a habit of bringing takers into my life for a long time, and people who wanted to essentially be me. They wanted my aura. They wanted, and I, you might be listening going, this is bullshit, but, people who just want your energy and everything when you're up, but when you're going through something yourself, they're gone. They've disappeared. And then people who want to, as I say, maybe destiny swap, and realise that when they do destiny swap, that they are not in fact you, and what they're doing is not authentically them because they've literally robbed somebody else's persona. And I had invited these people in, and they really, misinterpreted me, and that's okay. I'm okay with being misinterpreted. But recovery from those type of people is so long, and it can be very lonely as well, because you're essentially made out to be this absolute demon that you never were, simply because the truth is so horrific for them, and they want to be painted as this, authority and angelic being, and like, that's okay. I'm okay with that, and I think a lot of neurodivergent people are okay being misinterpreted, because we always have been misinterpreted. We always have been taken slightly differently than what we meant, and I have spoken about this for so long, that there really isn't an envious or jealous bone in our bodies, and others can't understand that. I'm genuinely so happy for everybody that is in my path or in my view line. I'm just like, honestly, and other people don't get that. They don't understand it, and that's really sad, but it's their loss at the end of the day. But I do firmly believe that it's your responsibility to stop these patterns and stop bringing these people into your life, because it's ultimately you have done that, and you've allowed people that have damaged you into your life. So there is a certain amount of responsibility that goes with that. So that can be lonely as well, because you start to distrust people we're so open, we're so honest, we're so, oh my gosh, yes, I will meet you for a cup of tea. What do you mean you're ending a conversation only and you didn't really want to meet me for a cup of tea? Oh, okay. We don't do between the lines. We're very open with conversation, and ultimately, if things are going well in your life, sometimes it's better to keep it under your hat. And I know that's really sad, and I don't mean that you shouldn't celebrate. Absolutely you should celebrate, but celebrate with the right people. Celebrate with the people who are not going to be alienated by the fact that you're doing well. The other thing is that when you have chosen somebody in your life to be part of your life, whether that's your husband, your wife, your significant other, whatever they may be in your life, don't tell people too much about them. Don't because the happier you are in your life, and then to add to that, the happier you are with your partner, really pisses a lot of unhappy people off. And I have lived through this many, many times. It really does. And the people who actually seem to have it all together are the people that you're probably going to piss off most. And I always found with I would enter these groups of people and they couldn't believe how much my husband actually does for me, how much he supports me. They literally couldn't believe, and even more now with the diagnosis, because he understands and he's watching for my patterns so he can look out for them in our daughter, and it's so helpful. But he's not, I suppose I want to get this right. He works for corporate. He's, a good friend. He's a good dad. He's a good partner. He's a good husband, but he doesn't shout about it. Doesn't have to shout about it. Absolutely doesn't have to scream it from the rooftops. And I always find sometimes that the people who are in service, so maybe the guards or firefighters or paramedics, and they're doing good for the community and they're so helpful in the community and they're doing fuck all at home in their own houses. I always find those types of families and the women in those families have the biggest issue, or had the biggest issue with me, because their partners maybe didn't contribute as much. We'll move on quickly from that. I was just interrupted there. I always found that when that was the scenario, so I'm always wary of a woman who has a partner that serves the community, because I often find that when they spend so much time serving the community, they aren't really serving their own family. That is personal experience, and absolutely not a sweeping statement or a generic statement, so please don't come for me. So many of us have our own businesses, and basically from an ADHD perspective, we will provide the best service. I've said this so many times before, but we need clarity, we need boundaries, and we need clarity. And just for an example, I was working with a client a couple of weeks ago, and they asked me to do some stuff, and I did it, and then there was one thing left to do, and how we left it was they were going to call me because it needed 10 minutes on the phone or whatever. And then I got a text a week and a half later, are we going to do this thing? And I was like, yep, absolutely, this is how we left it. And they were like, oh my god, yeah, we did leave it like that, because we're very clear with our next steps and our processes. But sometimes the clients aren't, and you might have a client who doesn't appreciate you going back to them. Luckily enough, I have clients that don't mind that because they're used to me, because I will have everything dotted and crossed. And you know, we do so much for our clients, and sometimes we neglect ourselves and our own businesses in the process, even though getting clients is our business. I understand that, but when we have clients, we do need to facilitate those clients, but we also need to be working on the process of bringing other clients in, because many clients are not they're not infinite, they're finite, and they're going to be with us for a certain time. So I think as with ADHD, we tend to see the now in our businesses. It's such a contradiction in terms, because with our personal life, like, we're always seeking for the better, and you know, sometimes we regret we don't look at the here and now and live in the present. And with our businesses, it can be completely opposite, because we're in the here and now in our businesses, and we're, you know, working with this client and working with that client and getting so much done, and it's so fulfilling, and the dopamine is, and we are like pew 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 on fire, that we're not looking at the next steps, and we're not funneling the next set of clients into the business. So we need to be looking for the future. We need to be looking at what we're bringing in to the business. Yeah, that's I got a funny text of, I got a DM actually, and it was from I get a lot of, I don't know about you, I get a lot of peers who follow me, and then I see my content on their platforms, which I couldn't give a shit about. I'm like happy to be complimented by you, you know, procuring my content. And most content isn't original. You've procured it from somebody else. So absolutely happy to be part of that circle. But this gentleman came into my comments, and I always get really, I don't hate men, but I don't particularly like them. I don't like men teaching women things that they've never experienced. So I don't understand a man being a menopause coach. I don't understand a man being a weight loss coach for women when they don't have a fucking clue about, you know, cyclical fucking energy, and they're using their own circadian energy, which rejuvenates after 28 or 24 hours, where like cyclical energy is 28 days. I fucking don't get it, but you know, they fucking talk the talk. There's a reason that over 50% of men said they could fucking land a plane. 43% of men also thought they had climaxed a woman when they hadn't. Is there a correlation there? Maybe you can find the cockpit, but you couldn't find the clitoris. So this, to tell a story, sorry, I'm around the house now. This gentleman came in so I have a lot of things automated, a lot of messages, a lot of emails. I've, you know, got my funnels out there. I've got my freebies out there which lead to clients. A lot of processes I have in place, and I help my clients to put in place. And this gentleman came in to my comments, and my comments on a post about automation and how it can make your life easier. And it was basically, you do realise that we are losing the personal touch by automating things. And I just was like, I actually ignored him. He followed me. I didn't follow him back. He's still following me. Always searching, always reaching. And I just felt, I thought I'd address it here. And it's like, sir, I have 2 children that are 10 and 11. I have a business and a house to run. If I have an auto reply on my email and my social media, well, go fuck yourself, because I am being personal in my own life. And you know what? My clients appreciate that I am not replying to every single fucking message on my social media that I have auto reply on, because I have much more fulfilling things to be doing, and I have much more money making things to be doing than to be replying to every single social media post. Yes, my auto reply generates leads, and it generates me helping my clients with things that are important, like making money and like balancing out their lives. So please don't come to me with your fucking automation. Really? Are you providing flashcards for your kids' grades for drama, and you're managing that? Are you packing for four people to go, and this sounds awfully privileged and I don't mean that, but to go away on holidays? Have you got that mental load of, is X, Y and Z in the fridge for the dinner, lunch and breakfast in the morning? Have they got everything for their lunch for school? Do we have factor because the sun's out and we need... Go fuck yourself if I have an automation on. You cannot really scale without automation. Like it's physically fucking impossible. And how you touch your audience is through the likes of this podcast, YouTube channel, social media, and your email list. And you know, my clients and my followers know that if they DM me or email me with a personal question, I am 100% replying to that. There's no auto replying to that. And it's funny, I went in, of course I had a look at his bio. I help female content creators. Sir, you have no fucking understanding of what a female content creator is fucking managing, the plates they are spinning. So please shut the fuck up. Thank you very much. So not to get a bit dramatic or defensive, but it really fucking irks me. It irks me. Nobody can put the shoes of somebody else on. We can empathize, but I would never get into somebody else's comments, especially somebody who is a peer, and be like, don't remove that, automation, sir, please step the fuck back out of my comments. Thank you. Automation is fucking so cool, guys. Seriously, the amount of stuff that you can just have there waiting and ready to go, even if you haven't got the platforms in place yet. You can have, emails ready to reply to X, Y and Z queries. You can have FAQs on your social media platforms. You can have landing pages. If you're not ready for a website, you can have a landing page there ready to go with all of the questions that your potential client needs. There's so much that you can do right now in your business, no matter what level of business you're at. Before I finish, one of the other things I want to talk about is I have created a small steps circle, and this is my accountability circle that we meet every month, the last Thursday of every month. But every day there are 3 prompts in the group. So it's a social media group, it's a private group, it's paid monthly, a very, very small amount, but you have 3 prompts every day of the year in relation to your business and your life, to be visible, to be present, to get over things, and to basically get things done. it is kicking off at the end of May, and I'm so proud of it. Honestly, it's something that I have wanted to do for, I swear to God, for 4 or 5 years now, and it's getting done, and I'm so pleased. It's the Small Steps Accountability Circle. I'm going to pop the link in the show notes here, but please do give it a look. It's very gentle accountability, and you know, it's a real possible progression, you know, not putting too much pressure on yourself, and sometimes when we take a step back and relieve that pressure, we open up so many opportunities, because we realize that we've been focusing on the wrong thing. We've been focusing on, you know, something that is taking up so much of our time for very little reward. And we're going to go through all of that in the group. I'm so excited about it. I really am. And honestly, I can't wait to see you there. And yeah, it's life is good. Life is really good. My heart is so full of joy at this moment, and we've talked previously about bottling that joy. I can't. I'm in the moment now. This is how I feel, and maybe in half an hour I'm going to feel like shit. And that's what happens when you're neurodivergent. You cannot battle that joy. You cannot use the inspiration of how you feel now to motivate yourself forward like other people can. I wish we could. As always, if you have any questions, please pop them in. I am just here to help you guys. And if you're not neurodivergent, please don't be scared. Always, you know, do not be scared. This is a place that welcomes everybody. I've been Linda Monahan. This has been the ADHD Is Podcast. Give us a follow and a review, and yeah, you're worth it. Do the hard thing, do the next thing, because you won't regret it. I swear you won't.